players left. Pulls up, looking for the lead, and got it. Jalen Williams, 2 seconds, 1:11, 1:09. Now SGA, probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down. The Thunder finally get the defensive stop, and SGA puts them in front.
I'm Kenrich Williams. You're listening to Topic Thunder.
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Topic Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Hunsinger at Thunder Chats. We're part of the Believe Network, and this podcast is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Now that's out of the way, I gotta say, as it was ending the third quarter, I thought this was going to be a much different podcast. I thought Tierney and Cohen was going to be on here. I was going to make a bunch of Marvel Rivals references. We was going to be talking, vibes were going to be high. It was going to be a really fun pod. And then just out of nowhere, the fourth quarter happened, and then overtime happened, and then the Thunder lost a game in which they led by 20 points. And it's, there's some to be taken away from it, and there's not a lot to be taken away from it. But either way, we're going to talk about it. We've got returning to the pod, first time in a little bit, Matty Moles. In spite of the scenario, the circumstances, it's great to see you. How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good getting roasted in the topic chat Twitter right now because I was like, oh, can we pull up? It just everything looked too easy. And I guess they turned it all the way up to 11. At one point, there was 6:28 left in the fourth quarter. Shea hit a three-pointer to put us up 117-98, giving Oklahoma City only a 99.8% chance of victory. And then just the wheels fell off. Yeah, I definitely got the cart ahead of the horse myself, thinking that this thing was going to go a different way. And man, it's just like we forgot how to play basketball on both sides. Yeah, the fouls added up immensely in that second half. But man, even in Shea minutes, we boo-booed all over ourselves tonight. No excuse.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into this game about how it crumbled, and I just got a notification on Twitter, and I think I found the culprit. I think I found the scapegoat. It's Book It with Trent. He was at the game tonight, and he's the guy that I'm absolutely blaming for this loss. But no, it's nobody's fault but our own. Honestly, it's funny because this was one of those weird post All-Star break scheduling things in which, we're playing like a home and home against the Wolves. And really, like, everything was stacked up against us. Like, we played a grueling physical game the night before against Timberwolves in which we had a similar scenario. We were up 20 points. They battled back. But we was able to, make the plays at the end to win the game. Tonight, same kind of thing happened, but it was much later in the game. We definitely took our foot off the gas, and it was harder to flip that switch back on because, but for all intents and purposes, the starters were out. Like, Shea was out. Like, I think Shea thought it was going to be another 30-point third quarter, and he was going to be chill. So I think he had mentally checked out of playing, and, I'm not saying that, it's Shea's fault that we lost the game or anything like that, but, like, it makes it hard. Like, stuff like this doesn't happen, so it makes it hard to kind of adjust, like, coming back into it. But, obviously the Wolves, credit to them, they made shots without their best player out on the floor. They was able to make shots. I felt like we got complacent in our shot selection, in our effort, playing kind of like lackadaisical. And, man, like I said, like, we just kept chucking threes. I went in there and manually counted after I think the timeout with like a minute left in overtime. In overtime, Matty Moles, we shot 18 3-pointers going into like the last minute. I think it ended up being 19 with Shea's last one at the end. Guess how many of them we made?
2 of them?
We made 2. We was 2 of 19 from the three-point line in the fourth quarter and overtime. And, I mean, that's that's not the game to me. Like, there's other reasons. Like, I think the big reason is, you talked about you jinxed yourself in the Top of Thunder chat. I jinxed myself on the timeline because I said the Thunder have completely taken Naz Reid out of this game. Like, they made the necessary adjustments. And it's been a huge reason why I was able to build up this lead. And he was huge in like the last few minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime. And a lot of that is because the Thunder had no big man. Isaiah Hartenstein probably broke his nose. They listed him out as with a facial contusion, but he caught the back of the head to his nose. He was bleeding. They tried to contain it, and then he ended up going to the locker room. We never saw him again. And Chet Holmgren was already ruled out for this game for a rest game. So we was left with either playing Jay Will, which we did play him at the beginning of overtime, or doing small ball. And Naz Reid absolutely took advantage of that in a big way. And, you point to reasons that we were able to lose this game. Like I said, you could point to a million, all of them self-inflicted. But the reason that I'm not as worried or I'm not taking as much things away from this game is because we didn't have our guys. And I know that the Timberwolves were hurt as well, but you could argue that they've been playing better without, some of the guys that were missing in their lineup. And we absolutely are better with the guys that we were missing. So I feel like I've been rambling for a lot, but yeah, that's kind of my mindset about it. Moles, are you taking a lot away from this game, or are you just kind of, the gruels of a regular season?
I mean, we just got done with the All-Star break. I know that it, back to back, same team, but we're at home, right? Guys got to get home last night and slept in their own bed and stuff while Minnesota had to travel. Anthony Edwards, 36 minutes, 5 of 15 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3, 6 of 10 from the free throw line. 17 points, a -7 in the plus minus, but his single block was the biggest block of the game. Made a huge play, but honestly, we did a great job against him. It was just, man, like Shai's cousin got in us a bit, scored 21 points, a game high plus 23. Naz Reid continuously kills the Thunder in the worst times. I mean, he didn't shoot exceptionally well. 7 of 21, 2 of 8 from 3. But every time he pulls up from 3, I'm expecting it to go in. I've just been conditioned that way. Jaden McDaniels, 27 points, like exceptional there. Terrence Shannon out of nowhere, 17 points. The guy just killing us lately. Jalen Clark came back down to earth. And then the rookie, Rob Dillingham, got in and got quality minutes against us too.
The spark.
A lot of guys came in. A lot of guys came in and contributed. It really felt like, down the stretch, like we had a Freaky Friday situation, and the T-Wolves were us and we were them, and all of their role players just like started balling out and making things happen, and none of our guys could get anything to fall. So you don't necessarily want to take away a lot, but it's pretty disheartening the way that we played against the T-Wolves of late in the last 3 games. I know we won last night, but like, honestly, we could have given that game away too. It's just, who knows, man. I've been season a little bit up to this point because it's like, okay, such a big lead on the number 2 spot in the West. Let's get to the playoffs, and kind of makes you wonder, like, do the players think the same way a little bit? Are they kind of trying to coast through and look ahead a little bit? Maybe, and it's bit us over the last couple games.
Yeah, no, there's like I said, I mean, there's definitely a lot to point to for this loss. But we actually have somebody else in the waiting room about to come in, give us his perspective on why we lost this game, what we should take away, if anything. After he finishes his monster yawn, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the Underscone, 3Cone. What up, Con?
Hey, what's good? Sorry, I was cleaning up some stuff after dinner, and I forgot we were doing a podcast. Yeah, weird game, very weird game. Yeah, I mean, I kind of put my thoughts in a tweet, so I'll just read the tweet. It's a bad loss. Yeah, it's probably the worst loss that the Thunder have had this season. I would say so. The only other thing that comes to mind is like when we lost to the Spurs, when Wemby wasn't playing. Like that one was kind of tough, and it sucks to see. But like, I mean, the main thing I only care about is if iHeart is good. I know they said he has a facial contusion. We'll see what that means. They said they're going to take a look at him tomorrow. But I mean, as you can see, the team clearly needs a big. Like, we immediately went back to the small ball days of, it was Caruso out there at the 5 at times and J-Dub. And it's tough. It's tough, especially to beat a zone when you don't have a big in the middle. The main thing the Thunder do all game when the Wolves threw the zone at them was you get the ball to iHeart in the middle and he hits someone on a cut or he sprays it out to the corner and attention goes his way or he hits the little push shot. I think people underestimate how important Isaiah Hartenstein is to this team. Now, I'm not saying that was the only reason we lost. I mean, we went unbelievably cold from 3. And I know we shot a lot of threes, but at the same time, like a lot of them were good looks. I mean, Wiggins has been killing it. We've been the best 3-point shooting team since the calendar turned over to 2025. Like we have been on fire. We were kind of bound for one of these games where just we go completely cold. And on the second half of a back-to-back with tired legs, I'm not surprised they went cold a little bit. But like honestly, I'm not too concerned. I'm not going to take something away from an L where, again, this is 1 of 11 on the season. The example I'll always go to is how the 73-9 Warriors lost to the Lakers that year, who had like 19 wins. Like that was a bad loss. Last year, the Celtics had a loss to the Hawks and DeJounte Murray put like 50 on their heads. Like every team is going to have a bad loss, at least one throughout the season. There's never been a team that's gone throughout the year without a bad out. And we only have 11 on the season. Like every team in the NBA pretty much, outside like maybe the Cavs, I haven't checked what losses they have, has more bad L's than we do. So yeah, the team was bad tonight. Like this is very disappointing. It's upsetting, but I think it's important to just, I think because we don't see many competitive games, we kind of overreact a lot and freak out when these bad losses happen. Yeah, it sucked. And especially, Ant getting that block. We have this like mini rivalry with Wolves Thunder fans. It sucks to lose to them out of anybody. But like, it's one game of hoops. We play against Brooklyn on Wednesday. I'll actually be in the building for that one, so that'll be cool. And we're gonna destroy them. We're gonna destroy Brooklyn, and then we're gonna get right back on track. Who do we have after that game? It's Brooklyn, it's Atlanta, it's the Spurs. We've got a nifty little 3-game win streak coming up here, and then we'll play the Rockets at home. Should hopefully beat them. The Grizzlies on the road. That'll be a fun one against another one of the top teams, and then the Blazers, and then a nice little stretch of a couple Nuggets games that honestly might do a lot for the MVP race. We'll see on those. And then the Celtics. So we've got a lot of tougher games coming up. Those are the ones that matter way more to me. Like if we just got brutalized by like a fully healthy Celtics team, then I worry a little bit more. But if it's one of these weird scenarios, like honestly, weirdly enough, I care less when we lose to teams that are injured like this. Because yeah, sure, it sucks, but we're not going to see an injured Timberwolves team like this in the playoffs. Like that's not the way the team's going to be. And basketball is not linear. Just because you're missing players, like it doesn't mean that, the results are going to directly translate, because hopefully in all those games, we'll have Chet, we'll have Hartenstein. And I think the big thing there was honestly, we just kind of fell into a rhythm a little bit. I think we tried to sleepwalk through the end of the game and we were like, just shoot a couple of threes, make one of them and this game is over. And it was just brick after brick after brick. And the Wolves came relentlessly. Honestly, the biggest thing for me is just credit to them. They didn't quit at all. It was mainly young guys. It's Rob Dillingham. It's Terrence Shannon. It's, Clark. It's everybody on that team. Ant hardly played down the stretch. Also, Nas is really, really good. Shout out to Nas Reed. He's going to get paid this offseason.
Yeah, he is.
Man. I mean, like these are L's that honestly, like I don't mind taking an L like this. It sucks. Like people are going to clown the Thunder for like the next couple of days, but I would rather take an L like this now than in the playoffs, and the Thunder just got embarrassed on their home court. I think they're going to lock back in, and sometimes you need losses like this to just go ahead and lock back in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we actually got somebody in the chat saying, still Thunder fan here. OKC will learn from this. Young teams need to experience this now than in the playoffs, just like you're saying, Cone. And I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think that, I was saying there's a lot of things that you could point to as to why we lost. And I absolutely believe like it was self-inflicted, but you can have self-inflicted wounds and still win games. But if the other team is making the plays, like you said, like credit to them, Moles was like ripping off the players before you came on. Like I think Rob Dillingham was absolutely the spark that like kind of sparked the comeback, because he came in and he just played with so much energy and like so much bounce, and I mean really like injected life in their offense. So yeah, man, I mean credit to the Wolves, but like you said, like I also am not taking as much away from this game. I honestly take more away from our game last night than I do from this game, because as I was saying to Moles, like specifically Shea, like he checked out in the third quarter, and I think he thought he was done. I think he thought it was another 30 points in three-quarter night, and he mentally checked out of the game, and he had to bring himself back in. That's kind of hard to do, and I think that kind of plays into it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they didn't get in till like I think 2-3 a.m. last night in the airport, at least Eastern time. So an hour back, whatever OKC time. It's like they didn't get into late. It's a second of a back-to-back. Also, things are always weird. We've played this team now back-to-back nights, which, by the way, is crazy in like the two different locations. We've played them 3 times recently, and the Wolves
3
are
of our
scrappy.
last 4 games have been Wolves.
Yeah, like thank God this it's been weird. I'm sick of seeing the Timberwolves. Like even if we won this game and it was comfortable, I would have been sick of seeing the Timberwolves, because I just want to see us play somebody different at this point. Things get weird when you play the same team all those times in a row. Yeah, man. I like if you're writing think pieces, I saw someone that was on the timeline who was like championship teams don't lose or don't blow 25+ point leads. Yes, they do. It happens sometimes. Like that, like the Bucks lost by like 50 in the playoffs that year to Brooklyn, the year that they won the championship. People don't remember the bad losses because they win the championship. If we win the title, no one's going to think about this at all, ever. Like it just doesn't happen. Every team, again, has bad losses. And in the moment, you think about it because it sucks and you get clowned on Twitter, which isn't a real place. And then you move on with your life. Like, you just kind of got to let things go by. I just saw John in the chat say when this team gets cold, things get ugly. It's just kind of the nature of the modern NBA, though. Like this was one of the, I mean, like it happened to us in the NBA Cup final. We lost to the Bucks because we went hyper cold from 3. It's going to happen some games. Like this one, we just went hyper cold down the stretch. I think we missed our last 12 or 13 threes of the game. That's not going to happen very often. We make 1-2 of those and this game's over. We win. We just go cold. It's the modern NBA. It's going to happen. And yeah, you'd like to see them bust the zone a little bit more. I think Shea should have gotten the ball a little bit. Maybe Mark calls a timeout to slow things down, but I think he just wanted to give them a chance to play through this, and they didn't. It's a lesson they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to be better from now on. And they know that, obviously. We know that. So clearly the ones who lost out there, know that. And that's just the nature of the game. So yeah, it's again, you're going to have cold nights. Like the Houston Rockets might have been NBA champions if they didn't miss 27 threes in a row in the game against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, and I think the Celtics, they've had like a 20-point comeback loss this year, haven't they?
I believe so. I was trying to actually look into that Celtics game log because I swore the same
thing.
Thing.
Like the Wizards or somebody like that? Somebody really weird?
Who was the loss?
Or Atlanta, maybe?
I know they lost to Atlanta without Trey. I know that.
Yeah, Atlanta beat the Cavs twice. I was looking back at that.
Yeah, like Atlanta's beaten the Cavs twice, which is super weird, and the Hawks have lost to the Wizards twice. Like it's the NBA. Yeah. It's weird, man. You gotta sometimes take things with a grain of salt. Like, I don't know how you look at this and be like, this is what is indicative of this Thunder team, and not like when we destroyed the Celtics or beat up on the Cavs without either of our bigs. Like, you got to take the good with the bad. Things are going to happen. Oh, yeah, it was this game, I think. No, it wasn't this one. Yeah, this game they lost to the Hawks, and it was like, it wasn't that big of a blown lead, but they were up. They were up big, and then they kind of blew it at the end of the second quarter. I'm trying to find that game you're talking about because I know what game you're referring to, and I can't find it. Also, by the way,
do you find it interesting?
No, go ahead.
So a lot of what the Timberwolves threw at us was what we threw at Dallas in the playoffs against Luka and Kyrie, doubling up near the half-court line really early in the possession to force the ball out of, and we just weren't able to pay that off enough. So y'all think that when we get iHeart back and we get Chet back, them in the middle that's going to unlock a lot, because it seemed very congested in spots for us offensively. I know we missed threes in the corner, and if we hit those, it looks different, but the flow of the offense still was congested a lot. And I think, as we have to learn how to counter, and we haven't played games, we are certainly going to have to find any team on a consistent basis, and we won't be able to go cold against the best teams in the West.
Yeah, and that's where iHeart comes in with the zone thing. Earlier in the game, they were hitting us with the zone, and they just got the ball to iHeart in the middle, and he just wrecked house. That's the reason we have iHeart, and that's what Chet does too, because Chet can hit that little midi. That's what you need the big for. And honestly, I wouldn't mind to see J-Will play a little bit in that center spot, because it felt like the Wolves were doing a really good job of forcing it out of the middle, because we didn't have the size at that spot. And instead, they were forcing us to throw it out to the wing, which was resulting in a lot of those one more pass corner threes where we just weren't able to hit them. We weren't able to get inside because they kept forcing the ball away from the middle, because we didn't have the guy with the size to go ahead and handle that. I just saw DC in the chat say, have you guys seen what Chris Finch said about us? I just saw the quote so I can read it to y'all. It's so frustrating to play this team because they foul a ton, they foul all the time, and then you can't really touch Shea. It's a very frustrating thing. You can say that, but it was
they still shot 10 more free
39
throws
free throws to 29. And we fouled it. We did foul a lot in this game, but they shot 39 free throws because of that. If you're asking for more than 39 free throws, it's not going to happen very often. And there are a lot of times in this game specifically where it felt like guys on the Wolves were like, what? I didn't foul him. And they showed the replay, and it was the clearest foul I've ever seen.
Yeah. I hate that so much.
Which was strange. By the way, I think for that Celtics game, I'm pretty sure it was when they played the Pacers this year, towards the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it was.
And they blew a big lead down the stretch. Let me see if I can find what the lead was.
I do remember that. Everybody's like, are the Pacers the Celtics kryptonite this year?
Yeah, they were down. No. Sorry. In this game, the Celtics came back. Never mind. Shout out to Boston for that one. There was a different game. There was some game where that went down. I'm gonna keep looking for it. But yeah, I don't understand how you're gonna talk about the free throw discrepancy when you shot 10. If we shot 20 more than them or 10 more, sure, go ahead and complain about it if you want. But you sat down, and it was one of your better guys at getting to the free throw line, and you shot 10 more. I just don't get it, man.
Didn't they shoot something like 33 free throws beyond
I was about to say
halftime, second half in the overtime, 33 or something free throws? That's insane. So while we went cold, they were going to the free throw stripe.
Yeah, and that's how you catch rhythm, man. When you're off, that's why Shea's as good as he is, man. Whenever he's having an off night shooting, start the game, he gets to the line, just see the ball going a few times, it gets you in rhythm. And the Wolves, we had them locked up. Our defense was ridiculous in the first half. And they started getting to the line, they started getting in rhythm, started watching the ball going a little bit, and it was able to carry them through to the end. Speaking of post-game quotes, Shea actually, gave his comment on the game, and it kind of sums up everything we're talking about. But, as Shea does, he sums it up very, very perfectly. He says, we got a lot of good looks. They just didn't go in. That's basketball. You make, you miss. Defense is something we've hung our hat on. Defense is why we were in position that we were in that game. We took our effort off the pedal, which is a weird sentence, but we took our effort off the pedal. It's a lesson learned. So I think they it sucks. We talk about the grind of the regular season and everything, and obviously we just went through the All-Star break, so I wouldn't say the guys are fatigued or anything like that, but it's just you're not going to win every game. You're not going to win all 82 games. Nobody's ever done it. And, all you can do is in those losses, just learn from them. And I think that to their credit, they have done a really good job of making adjustments off of losses. You look no further than the Cleveland Cavalier matchup, where we played them very close and they was able to pull it out on their home floor. And that was when we had iHeart. Next time we played, we made adjustments. We were on our home court, and we didn't even have a big. And we just blew them out of the freaking water. So I I have faith in this team to make adjustments. I think that they'll see something different. I know they'll see something different next time we play Minnesota because they'll see Chet Holmgren out there. And to answer your question earlier, Moles, like I think Chet helps a lot with the blitzing and doubling of Shea because he's a guy that can knock down the 3-point shot. I would argue that aside from like Isaiah Joe, I think Chet Holmgren has the most shooting gravity on the team in terms of like 3-point shooting. And also, I low-key trust him, to attack a closeout more than almost anybody else on the team as well. So I think that Chet's almost like a perfect complement to counter, blitzing Shea double teams. In addition to, iHeart kind of being the hub there to, break the zone.
Yeah, and one thing I actually want to note real quick, this is just completely off topic. I guess, I don't know how much y'all talked about the game prior to this yesterday. I want to shout out Chet because Chet had one of his best games of his comeback so far yesterday. I know everybody wants to be doom and gloom, but we got to give Chet some love. He had 19-4-1 with 3 blocks, 3 threes, which was awesome, 8 of 11 shooting. And I don't know if y'all have like noticed his 3 ball, like specifically the form on that looks amazing. It's probably the best I've ever seen Chet's 3 form look. Like it almost looks too. Yeah, it was quicker. It felt a lot more fluid. I know towards the beginning of the season, there were some people worried. They're like, oh, is there a little bit of a hitch or something? Which it seems like everybody freaks out. Like, oh my God, there's a hitch. I think that's just natural when a guy is changing their shooting form because they go back a little bit to what they used to do and then they correct it. I mean, it looks good. Like it is quick. It felt automatic last night. I mean, that 1-3 he hit down the stretch of the game, like when Shea kicked it over. I think it was Shea who kicked it over to him, but he hit that one over on the wing. And I was like, damn, I don't know if I've ever seen Chet pull like that. And it went up that quickly, like with that confidence. And it was just not a single inch of rim was hit. Like, that's cool to see, man. I'm happy to see that from Chet.
Yeah, no, he was absolutely phenomenal. And, it just goes to show like that type of offensive performance was absolutely missed tonight. And that's not even mentioning the defense. Like how I kind of made the joke to my wife, like it would be great because like she was like, is Chet hurt? It's like, no, he's just, sitting out because, he's, kind of coming back and he just played last night. It's a back-to-back there, kind of monitoring it. But like he's good. And, iHeart got hurt later in the game. It was like, dang, it would be nice if, Chet like could suit up and like come in now. And it's almost like yeah, like in the NFL, like how you have like the emergency quarterback. Like they're not like actually active, but like if an injury happens, they could come in. Like instead of Chet being a street close, it'd be awesome if he was just like sitting there in his jersey and warm ups, and then iHeart went down. It's like, I wasn't planning on playing, but I can come in and play.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, can Chet do the whole like just like tear away, like rip off the street clothes and just come into the game? Supposed to, he's already. I mean, obviously, he's going to play against Brooklyn in our next game. I'm just hoping iHeart's going to be able to play there too. But I wonder how. I wonder how long it would be cool to honestly. Mass iHeart would be kind of sick. I wonder how long we're going to keep doing the back-to-back thing because what's super annoying. We do another one of these back-to-back against the same team. This one they're both in OKC, but it's against the Nuggets. So another in-division team in the Western Conference who we play on back-to-back nights for some reason. I don't know why in the second half of the year we're just doing this a bunch apparently. But like it would be nice to have Chet for both those games against Denver. Like it's tough without Chet going up against the Nuggets. But I think that one's a back-to-back, but I think outside of that one, we also have Rockets Spurs back-to-back. Why do we have so many back-to-backs? Dude,
we're in the middle of 8 games in 13 days.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, we have Rockets Spurs.
I wanted the Thunder I wanted the baseball team to play a baseball schedule. This is a little banana the way they've scheduled us, but hopefully we'll be able to get a little rest, come late March, early April timeframe, and rest some of our guys because we do have a pretty healthy lead. Do you think that we'll probably sit guys at the end and throw the starters out to keep rhythm?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if we're playing everybody. Like, let me check our last few games.
I know we
last
played
few
the
games.
Lakers.
Yeah, we play the
twice.
Lakers April 8th and April 6th, Rockets April 4th, Suns April 9th. I think it's probably like that Suns, Jazz, and like we play the Jazz and Pelicans to close the season on April 11th, April 13th. If our starters played, like I'd be stunned if we're playing them against the Jazz and the Pelicans to wrap up the season. And I already know one of those games, we're gonna be sitting everybody and we're gonna lose one. They're gonna be like, oh my God, like it's crazy. Like the Thunder are screwed. They lost one of these games. Yeah, man. I'm not. If you're worried, I promise you not to be. Like, just don't. Also, real quick for the Chris Finch quote. Do y'all know where the Thunder rank in free throw attempts per game?
28th.
Ooh, so close. Second to last, 29th, baby.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah, it's so dumb, man. It's such a tired
played
narrative.
out. Ridiculous.
And it's wild for a coach to like come at a player like that, because usually like coaches league wide are pretty like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. They heap praise on like opposing players. It's like, oh yeah, he's so hard to like game plan for. Like he's so good at this. He's so good at this. He's a great player. And Finch, every time we play, is like, you can't touch Shea. Everything's a foul. OKC fouls the whole game. It's like, bro, like, could you be any more of a beta crybaby? Like, shut the frick up.
Yeah, I just don't understand like what the point of it is. I feel like you just, I think it was Shea who said at one point, like, he was just like, I'm just gonna, the refs have a hard job. Like, I'm not really gonna complain about calls all that much. Like, I miss shots, they miss calls, things like that happen. It is weird to see a coach go out there and just straight up be like, yeah, we can't touch this guy. This is crazy. And it's not even like how many free throws did Shea shoot tonight? He shot 11. It's not like he shot like 20 free throws. Like it's not.
I shot 14 of 17, I think.
Oh, did you shoot 14? Oh, I'm looking at last game.
Yeah.
So let me pull up this game.
Yeah.
Even still,
I was
like,
too.
like 17's a good bit, but like, I mean,
Ant shot 10.
Jaden McDaniel shot 9. Ant shot 10 in, with him sitting down the stretch of the game. I don't know, man. Honestly, I wish the word free throw could just disappear from the lexicon, because I'm so sick of nonstop discourse about everything with free throws and refs and fouls. It's just like, y'all, it's just like, can we just talk about anything else? It's so frustrating to even.
Wouldn't Shea still be leading the NBA in scoring if you took away free throws?
Yes. Or I think he'd be top 5 still if he took away free throws, I believe.
Like, what are
Because
we
Giannis
talking
is
about?
only like a point behind him.
Yeah, there was a couple weeks. I think it was like right before All-Star break, so I tweeted about it. I think Sleeper tweeted out that stat that like if you take away free throws, Shea still leads the league in points. And I went further. If you just take free throws away from Shea and left everybody else with free throws, Shea would be like 6th in scoring. So like
what are we doing
he's
here?
still a bucket. Like, yeah, I mean, even last night and tonight, like last night more so than tonight, because he did shoot more tonight, and some of them weren't M1s, but like there was like, I think he had like 2 or 3 M1s yesterday. And it's like, oh, he's such a free throw merchant. He's trying to get the free throw. I was like, dude, he's making the bucket. You're just fouling him when he makes it. Like, what do you want him to do? And I just think obviously it's a very tired narrative, but also like, why does it matter so much? Like, the whole point in basketball is trying to create an advantage for your team to win. And like, it's not like he's cheating or anything like that. It's not like he's ruining the sanctity of the game. Like, look at Michael Jordan, look at Kobe Bryant, look at all these high-level guards throughout the years, these Hall of Fame guards. Like, they shot like 9, 10, 11 free throws a game. And because Shea does it, because he's this soft-spoken dude who, cares about fashion a lot, and, he's Canadian, whatever, any other reason that you want to hate him, because of aura. It's just like, oh, he's a free throw merchant, even though he's been doing exactly what every other high-level guard's been doing the last 20 years. It's just, it's so annoying. And the hypocrisy of it all, because Minnesota fans, chanting free throw merchant in Minnesota when Anthony Edwards is shooting, I think he shot 1 free throw less than Shea. He might have even shot more than Shea. the game before.
He was 6 of 10
Okay, yeah. So he shot one
tonight. Yeah.
Oh, tonight, yeah. No, I was saying last night, but like, yeah, I mean, if you are like an all-star guard in this league, you're probably going to shoot a high amount of free throws. That just comes with it. Like Steph Curry, I don't know how many he's shooting. You know, he's a different type. He isn't driving as much as guys like Shea and Ant, but you know, guys like Shea, Ant, Cade, Jalen Brunson, these guys that are driving into the lane, they're going to shoot more free throws because if you're driving into the lane, you're driving into bodies, you're driving into contact. Like it's common sense, man. I don't understand why people get so worked up about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like people got to find something. You know, it's the way that basketball's unfortunately covered. It's just, feel like there's, I mean, obviously consume the most basketball related stuff, but there's no sport that's covered as negatively as basketball is. Like, it's not even close from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. No, I need to, honestly, considering, I can't, man. It's my job. I was going to say I'm considering doing the word free throw on Twitter, but like, I got to see stuff. It's my job. You hate to see it. Also, by the way, where do you think the Thunder sit in terms of opponent free throw attempts per game? Since apparently we foul a ton and we get no foul call, or no one shoots free throws against us.
Like
I think
12.
I think probably we give up the 5th most free throws.
We give up the 3rd most
okay.
free throw. Teams shoot 24.8 free throws against us. And I mean that's
what do we shoot, like 16?
We shoot 19.6. So that's a 5.2 free throw advantage every game for other teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't really know what to say about that. Yeah, Josh, I'm gonna be at Barclays. I'm gonna go to the Thunder Nets game, which will be fun. I'm excited about that. The team hasn't lost with me in attendance in a minute. Like, it's been a while since they've lost when I've been at a game. Because
you got to knock on wood, bro. You got to knock on wood.
There you go. But I was at
Proof of
the
wood.
Knicks game this season. I went and saw them twice against the Pelicans. So that's 3 in a row. Both games for the Topic Thunder fan event. That's 5 in a row. They beat the Knicks last season and the Nets. I think I've seen 7 straight Thunder wins. I think at least. Because then we go back to, did we win at the Thunder fan event the year prior? We did, right?
We've won every Thunder fan event.
That's 8. And then what was the game before? We saw 2 games there, right? Oh, no, because we lost to the Warriors the game after the event because I stayed for 1 more. So it's 7 in a row that I've won. So hopefully the streak continues.
Some Thunder adjacent stuff tonight. Josh Giddey tore up the Sixers. So any thoughts about Josh Giddey? And then mainly, do we even get the Sixers pick?
Bro, I got to tell you, I got a gut feeling the Sixers are getting Cooper Flag. I don't know what it is. I have a weird feeling that they're going to be the team that just randomly wins the lottery. Because I think Embiid's done for the season. They're getting killed right now. They lost by like 40 to the Bulls tonight. That pushes them. They're 20-37. They're only 2 games ahead of the Raptors, who just won their last game. I think they're going to end up having like the 5th best odds. And I don't think we're getting the pick, which sucks because I did not expect them to be this bad this season. But
them being this bad and the Clippers being this good is very bummer for our pick prospects.
Well, I do want to say, the Wolves beating us tonight might ultimately help us out in the long run because the Clippers lost tonight. And now the Wolves and Clippers are tied at the 6 and 7. And the Warriors are just 1 game back of the Clippers. The Kings are only 1.5 games back at 9 and 10. And the Clippers have, I think it's remaining strength of schedule. I think they have a top 5. They have the 6th hardest schedule the rest of the way. So in the end, this could be a blessing. Maybe this was not a tank maneuver, but like causing a different team to tank maneuver, whatever that's called, like transitive tanking, I guess is what you could word it as. But awesome. I still think there's a real world where we end up with that Clippers pick in the lottery because they have a hard schedule. The Wolves, Mavs, Warriors, and Kings are all playing better than them right now, And all of those teams have easier schedules except for the Kings. So I'm not counting on that much anyways. But outside of the Kings, Minnesota has the 29th hardest schedule. They've got the second easiest the rest of the way. Golden State has the 22nd hardest, so they've got a pretty easy one. Dallas has the 16th hardest. Like, there's a world where if Kawhi and Norman Powell continue to miss time like they are doing right now, we could still see a lottery pick from that. And, maybe we get lucky in the Sixers pick drops. I don't know.
That'd be nice. That would be nice. Hey, it'd be even better if we got 2 lottery picks. But, count your blessings. But, all right, boys, before we go, we've got to break for a quick ad, and then we'll just go ahead and preview the next few games for the Thunder after that. But first, we're going to go to a break. All right, I know we've been kind of doom and gloom on this. Not as much. The conversation's been doom and gloom, but there's a positive to be had over the past couple of nights. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. We've been doing Underdog live reads the month of January and February, and me and Cone, we cashed out last night with a nice little five pick parlay. Well, I think we did Shea over 30.5 points. We did Naz Reid over 27.5 points and rebounds. We did Alex Caruso over 5.5 points, and then Anthony Edwards over 3.5 threes, which that was a little bit of a sweat. But Ant has no conscience, so even if he if he goes 1 of 7 from 3 going into halftime, he's still going to shoot like 6 more times. It's great. And then the last one was Jalen Williams, 29 PRA. In which the last free throw that he shot in the fourth quarter pushed us over the edge, got it there. And then a roundabout way, Jalen Williams making a half-court buzzer beater at halftime won us that parlay. So we would have won again tonight if Hartenstein did not break his nose, especially going into overtime. We needed that double-double. That would have been amazing, Cone.
Yeah, Hope iHeart's good, man. Yeah, it sucks because he was playing pretty well. The numbers we're going to have to get up a little bit. But, I mean, it's iHeart. We just need him to get like 10 boards. We need him to get a double-double, which obviously he's very capable of, especially when you put him in the middle of that zone. But, yeah, man, hopefully everything's good there. Couldn't get back-to-back wins, but, yeah, it happens. We almost got 3 in a row.
Well, yeah, we did. Freaking Jamal Murray.
Well, Jamal Murray need, what, like 3 or 4 more
3
points?
3 points. Yeah.
3 more points. Need that one Jamal Murray 3.
Yeah, and honestly, he could have got it if it was a normal game. The Lakers just absolutely blew the Nuggets out, and I think they checked him out with 4 or 3 minutes left or something like that. So who knows what could happen? We could have had an absolute legendary run. But you know what? You can start your own legendary run by downloading Underdog today. Find the link in our description. Use the promo code Thunder. That is THUnder, as I used to like to say for my Thunder Chats pods. And you can get up to $1,000 in bonus credit and also get 1 free pick. So whenever the Thunder play the Nets on Wednesday, you can go crazy. You can start your own streak with Underdog. And shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. I feel sorry for what's about to happen to them after this victory. But that will do it for our break. Guys, speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, let's look ahead to our next few games. We won't just do till Friday. We'll do to our games on Tuesday. So we play the Nets on Wednesday. We play the Hawks on Friday. And then we play the Spurs on Sunday. And I'm trying to see. Oh, and we also play the Rockets on Monday before we pod again on Tuesday. 4 games coming off of a heartbreaking loss win. And I'm starting with Matty Moles.
3-1.
I got to ask, who are we dropping?
Houston at home.
No, don't say that.
Dude,
not with the way the Rockets have been playing.
I feel it in my gut, man. I don't like it. I hate it. But yeah, it just feels like that's what's going to happen, especially with it being a second night back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do play. So that's another one. We play a back to back. We play the Spurs on Sunday in San Antonio, and then we come back home for the Rockets. Kind of like.
Which is crazy, by the way, that they didn't schedule that so that we were just in Texas twice, and they said no, go back to Oklahoma City to then play the second half of back-to-back when we're literally playing both. I don't get it.
And then we go to Memphis after that on Wednesday. So, it's great. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
man. Love the 3 games in 4 nights.
Yes. Colin, what's your record prediction for these 4, man?
4-0. They'll be fine. They'll go 4-0. Gonna destroy the net. I think they destroy the next 3 teams. I think the Nets, Hawks, Spurs get annihilated. Rockets, they're scrappy. They fight a little bit, but they've been playing so bad recently, and I really think this game is just gonna light a fire under this team. I think they go on a 6-game win streak here going into the 2 matchups against Denver, and then we'll see how those go. Maybe we split the 2 of them because they're a good team, but yeah, I think they tear off at least this 6-game win streak, if not more.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say not only do we go 4-0, I think we win every game by 15 or more points. I think we're going to come out with a vengeance.
Yeah, I think we stat pad that net rating a little bit because we got to make up for what we lost tonight.
How far did we fall back?
Probably not too far. I mean, we didn't lose by much. Let's see where we're at. It hasn't updated yet. Oh, no, it did. We dropped 0.3, so now we're at 12.8, but we're below 13. Devastating. Still second all time.
Dang. Could have been first. It's all right. We got work to be done. On another note, Shai has been still playing like an absolute MVP monster here recently. Jokic, of course, had the dud against the Lakers. Tonight, he had 19 assists, but he hasn't been scoring very well. Do you think this is a sign of things to come? Shai ratcheting it up and Jokic just kind of like sleepwalking through the rest of the regular season, or what do you think, Cohen, as our NBA guy?
You're talking about the Shai MVP?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to win it. Honestly, I think I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Like Jokic has a shot because he's just putting up such insane numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think people have kind of, for the most part, decided really the only way I see it swings is if, say, we just have 2 stinkers in Denver and they beat up on us and Jokic goes crazy. I think really that's the only thing. If Shai plays the way that Shai always plays and we win those 2 games in Denver, even if we split them, but if Shai plays the way that he plays, I think Shai's going to lock that up. That is like the MVP race there, if you ask me, March 9th, March 10th, which will be right before, we had to the Thunder fan event, but yeah. Which you should, by the way, buy your tickets to if you haven't yet.
Yeah, absolutely should. And I actually had somebody reach out in the comments of our last video. I guess I was being inconsiderate. Not everybody has Twitter. So if you are looking to buy tickets for our fan event, which you absolutely should, it's going to be great. It's going to be against the Hornets. You're going to see LaMelo Ball. You're going to see the rescinded trade guy, Mark Williams. You're going to see a historically great Oklahoma City Thunder team. You have a chance to hit a half-court shot for a basketball signed by the entire historical Oklahoma City Thunder team. You get to go down onto the floor, take group photos, take photos of yourself, your friends, whoever is down on the floor. As long as you purchase a ticket with that link, you are eligible for that. I think the club seats are gone. So I think all we have are upper level seats, but that is literally $16. You're talking about $16 for this game to see the historically great team go onto the floor, take photos, shoot a half-court shot, and possibly win a basketball signed by the whole team. And also get to hang out with all the Top of Thunder listeners and the Top of Thunder crew. Because the first time ever, Stephen Dolan's making his appearance at the Top of Thunder fan event, and that's worth the price of admission right there in and of itself. So,
I'd pay the money to buy Woj's phone that he used to break the Shai trade just to see Dolan.
There you go. You heard it here first. But yeah, if you guys need the link and you're in YouTube and you're not on Twitter, just ask in the comments, and I will gladly drop that in there. I'll also see if Tierney could put that in the episode description along with the Underdog link. But if you are on Twitter and you haven't bought it yet, you still have time. Time's winding down, but you still have time. Go to @OKC Top of Thunder on Twitter. It is in the pinned tweet. Just click that link, purchase your tickets, and go ahead and DM me at ThunderChats and let me know if you are coming. Whether you've already have your ticket or you just bought your ticket, just let me know so I can try to get a head count, and also going to try to put everybody in a group chat for information purposes about the event. Right now we have a Top of Thunder group chat from last year, but it's kind of turned into just a basketball chat, and some of the people aren't able to go this year. So I want to get everybody that is going in a chat so we can, kind of coordinate things as they come along. But don't wait too long because that event is within 3 weeks now. And boys, I am excited. I'm absolutely hyped.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. If we're starting to wrap up here a little bit, I want to drop a couple of quotes from Shea that I think are relevant to anybody freaking out. SGA, it hurts in the moment, but we have however many games left. Said there are 82 games, which means 82 chances to learn lessons. If that's not the most Mark Daignault coded thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is. But yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about it. And then coming from Nick Gallo, Shea also saying the 82 game season is an opportunity to get better. I'd rather go through being up 16 with 3 minutes left and losing in our 82 game season than in the playoffs, if that's what it takes for us to learn. We got a lot of good looks. They just didn't go in. That's basketball. I think we already talked through that quote. You make, you miss. Defense is what we hung our hat on, and we just took our, what did Shea say specifically? We took our effort off the pedal.
Yes. That's amazing. We just got to reference that every time we play. If we took our effort off the pedal or if we kept it on the pedal.
I'm gonna say that next time I get pulled over. Sorry, officer, I had a little too much effort on the pedal.
And next time the effort will be there. So
hey, that kind of makes sense in context though. But yeah. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, guys, unfortunate loss. Not the end of the world. I don't think this is an implication of playoffs or anything like that. I think that there was a lot of reasons that we lost this game, and we shouldn't freak out. I think that, let's lick our wounds, learn our lessons, bounce back against Brooklyn on Wednesday, and start another win streak. But until then, I hope everybody has a great night. God bless. Hoop when you can. I'm rewinding it. If you're still in the chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for being active even in the it's so devastating. Leave a comment down below. What your favorite moment was from the weekend for the Thunder. Like the video, subscribe if you have not already, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when we go live. And now going back to, and as always, Thunder up.
Thunder up.
Thunder up.